Hello, today we have a Super Pac-Man, and the problem with this Super Pac-Man, the monitor will come on, the cabinet lights will come on, however the game will not boot. It blows fuse F1, which is the 5-volt fuse, and it blows it instantly. First thing we were trying is the power supply, because that's the fuse on the power supply. I was recommended to try the arcade shop switching power supply. Now this has input for, you can switch it to either 115 or 120 or 230/240 volt. And it comes with a little PCB here to plug directly into the wiring harness. This thing is as pretty much plug and play as you can get. Now I've already pre-installed the PCB. You just loosen the screws, it slides right under and tightens down. Wish the PCB had holes so the screws could actually go through the holes, but it does seem to be in there pretty good. This is for voltage adjustment. I tested this one, it came pretty much perfect right from factory. However, if you want extra peace of mind, you can grab a multimeter and test the voltage output as well, adjust accordingly. It comes with 2 wires here for AC power, along with some vampire taps. I will not be using these today. This machine is exactly 40 years old, to the year. Can't get to the day, but I don't know what's been done to it over time, but these I found just will not be long enough, and how they want this installed for some reason won't work. Now I already used jumpers to test this out to see if it works, and this did solve my problem, and now I'm going to do the actual full install. But yeah, these are just not long enough, and I'll explain why I'm not going to go this route as we do this here. So first thing you're going to want to do is install the PCB. It's going to be hard to see on camera. However, the PCB is labeled positive 5 volts, ground, negative 5 volts, and 12 volt. There's also a little jumper here. Well, we can get a zoom in on that. Ooh, focus. And you can see that little jumper right there. I have it set for Miss Pac-Man. Now there's this is universal for a few different games. This specific one will do the game Blueprint, Bump and Jump, Burgertime, Gorf, Junior Pac-Man, Dedicated, meaning that has to do with the jumpers here, Lizarian, Mappy, Robby, Roto, Space Zap, Super Pac-Man, which is what we're doing here, and Wizards of War. Now, apparently Junior Pac-Man has a little bit different setting, which requires positive 5 volts. I'm not too familiar with that. It was already set for Junior Pac-Man when I got it, probably from testing at the factory with the PCB. So I moved it over. It says all others positive 12 volt, so that's where I moved it. So now this is all set here. Before you install it, you might want to install it. It also comes with the mounting brackets. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to mount it yet, so I will put those on right before, or right when I find the exact spot. So I'm going to set these aside. Now, what they want with these, the power lines go over here. Hot, line hot, and ground. They don't provide a ground wire, which I think they really should. But yeah, they provide that, and little vampire taps here, wire splicers, and they want you to connect that up to the monitor power line, which, how this one's wired, the monitor power line doesn't become hot until this would become hot, or the existing power board, which is why I am not wiring it into that. Instead, I am going to use the service port, and I used a old computer line power cord, and I put my own little ends on exactly the same as what they have. And I decided also to add a ferrite core to the line. Ferrite core can absorb EM interference. If you ever get like a buzzing noise on your speakers or waviness on your screen, ferrite core can help with that. So I already have some things inside loosened up just to make this video go a little quicker. Overall, install should take about 15 minutes or less. It might go a little longer because I'm trying to explain things as I go. So I put some foam down there. Don't want the screen resting all the way on the ground. I'm just picky about that. Grab my light. Put that right there. Alright, let's move the camera here. Alright, before we zoom in, this is the main power board, and that's what's causing my problems. To disconnect, there are 2 of these screws holding this rubber in. Now these originally were pliable, kind of absorbed, shock and whatnot, people bumping into the cabinet. Of course, after 40 years, they're kind of hard as a rock now. Slightly pliable. So I removed that one already. I had to loosen a couple on the sides. It's just too tight. And we have this wire connector here. You'll have to pull that apart. I already declipped it, so I could just quickly do that for you guys. Slowly pull the power board up. Of course, make sure the machine is completely unplugged. Now, as you pull it up, there's 2 wire connectors that will be attached to this board. J1 and J2. See these here? J1 and J2. You're going to want to disconnect those as you pull the board up. So we got J2, which is actually the power input from the main power supply, that big silver box on the bottom. And we got J1, which is here. That's what supplies power to the PCB and all the other good stuff there. And you can, it looks kind of cool. You can see through the power supply board there. I might actually go through and try and fix this thing. This is called a medium power supply. Might actually try and fix this, see what's wrong with it. Just for the price, couldn't go wrong with the Midway manufacturing, 1982. For the price, I couldn't go wrong with just putting in a new switching power supply. So now that that's disconnected, let's zoom in a little bit. I'll reach in through the coin door here. So again, this is the small one here. Inspector 173. If Inspector 173 is watching this video, please chime in. So this comes from the power supply. This isn't going to be used anymore. That's just going to be free. As such, I feel more comfortable taking some electrical tape, because this is still live, remember. So that way, if something gets loose in the cabinet, that's not going to cause any trouble. So we're just going to tuck that down there out of the way. Here's where the magic comes through here. Since we got the board out, I'm going to plug this back in. When I was testing last night, I couldn't figure out why it still wasn't working, and I didn't even get cabinet lights. I forgot to plug that little bugger back in. So there we go. Now, zoom back out. Just a little bit. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. My cameraman's at school right now. Now right here, this is the power cord going to the monitor. And if you follow it around, it comes down around and down in there. Now, I'm a little bit limited on where I can go with this. You don't want to damage any of these wires. They're all bundled real nice. If it wasn't bundled and intertwined so much, I would have put the power supply, the new power supply, down in the corner here. Then I could have been a little closer to everything. But I'm not. I would like to keep the power supply on this side here. And now there is a service port right there. Let's see if we can... It's basically just a power outlet. Now, regardless if the power switch on the cabinet is on, there's a power switch you can flip from the underside. You got to reach down, and it's straight down from here. Regardless if that is on or not, the service power port there is on all the time. I'm going to change that on this so the whole unit goes through that power switch, especially since we're using a much more efficient power supply. Now, again, they wanted you to use these taps and those 2 wires to tap into this line right here, going to the monitor. But for some reason, and I don't know if this is with all Super Pac-Mans or not. This is my first Super Pac-Man machine. Only Super Pac-Man machine. I got a Miss Pac-Man right here. Picked them up both the same week. The monitor will not power on until this was powered on via the switching power supply or the original board, which I removed with the 12 volt. There must be a relay in there or something. Don't know. Don't care. Good chance I could probably completely get rid of this giant unit here. If it works, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just doing what it takes to get it to work. Because when you start touching things, stuff gets worse. So that is why I'm not splicing into there. I've repeated that too many times, I know. Now, on the PCB, on the new switching power supply, you'll notice there are spots with 2 pins missing. This will line up and match. There are a few pinholes that are plugged/capped, filled in. Don't force it on here the wrong way. It should go on nice and easy the correct direction. So now that we have this open, let's decide where and how I'm going to place this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Which direction will that go on? That'll go that way. Do a test fit, yep. So it wants to go like that. Let's make sure it'll reach. There's a few other wires I'm going to clear out in here to the previous owner. Put the free play button on the outside. So yeah, I think if I mount it to the side of the cabinet here, that should be good. Loosen a few of those wire hooks holders there. Take that out. Attach the mounting brackets. These little holes on the side, so you want to pre-do that. Yes, I could cut the video, make it a little shorter, but I don't like cutting because then people think you missed a step, or they missed a step. So I'm just going to keep rambling as I put these screws on here. Of course, my screw gun's in the car. Today was supposed to be the day I did a review on Milwaukee Tool's new lithium lawnmower, just released. And of course, today's also the day it's a torrential downpour outside. Yay! Lovely, hey? So, got 1 screw in, 2 screws in. So instead, we are inside doing this until midget number 3 has to go to preschool. In. I also do not feel like going out to the car to get my screw gun, because if I open the hood of my car, tons of rain's going to get in. What a conundrum, eh? Let's see, is there any better spot to put this? Not really. And tight. Now, I am going to use... Actually, will it fit like that? No. I don't want it angled like that. I'm going to use 2 of these from the original rubber bumper on the top there. I'll use 2 of those to hold those in. Let me just measure it up here. Stupid free play button. I'm making my kids put quarters in this thing. So right there. Free play button's supposed to be right in here. Oh. Part of the problem is I left that cord hanging there. That's the one we capped. I'll move it to that side. I think I also gotta reinstall a volume control on this thing, and I'm going to replace the bulbs with high quality. Philips makes some good quality. These are 12 volt bulbs. I'm going to replace those with some high quality LEDs that still provide the same warm glow as incandescent. So let's see. Right about there. And where did my screwdriver go? Ratcheting drivers work nice when you're limited on space. Let's see if I can move this Pac-Man over here. Use a magnetic bit on this thing. Yeah, the drill went to fit down here anyways. Went in much quicker than I thought. Back it out a bit. And one other thing now, before mounting the switching power supply in, I'm going to connect the power cord to it. Now, before anybody asks, you do not need a ferrite core, but if you have one laying around, or you're willing to wait for one, oh yeah, I'm leaking. If you're willing to wait for one from Amazon or eBay, it won't hurt, only help. I'm also going to put, I'm going to wrap the ferrite core in electrical tape. It's not a great conductor of electric, but it still can nonetheless, so just in case if this thing's ever transported somewhere. Don't want it to bump into anything. Things weren't quite as sealed back then as they are now in electronics. And in fact, someone got rid of the original plug end on this thing, so it's the whole thing's no longer grounded. So this is cabinet number 2354. Exciting. Not bad for a $50 investment. saved this one from either going to the junkyard, garbage dump, or ending up a MAME cabinet. Nothing against MAMEs or multicades, but I put these on the wrong side. Nothing against MAME or multicades, but hey, I don't want to see these old machines. You know, build a new cabinet. If you can get an old one working properly. This is video gaming history here. Although Super Pac-Man wasn't the most popular, it's still different. I never played Super Pac-Man before until I got this cabinet running last night. A 25-minute video so far. Sorry it took so long. Because to be honest, the directions they had for installing this were really kind of poor. I mean, they would probably be fine on if this was a brand new machine. Obviously, I wouldn't be needing to do this on a brand new machine. But after 40 years, these things getting moved around, repaired who knows how many times. I mean, I even had to drill out the lock on this thing. Found a whole bunch of quarters in it. The guy I got this from had this actually for about 20 years in his basement, which is kind of good, which is probably why it was physically in such good condition. The monitor was crystal clear, a little bit of color distortion in the corner, like someone got a magnet too close to it. I might try using a strong magnet and reversing that, unless I can figure out if there's a degauss feature on these things. I just don't like messing around with CRTs. Note to self, next time, just get the darn screw gun from the car. There we go, nice and snug. There we go. Oh, perfect. Fraction. About a quarter-inch too high, but I think I can work with that. Excuse my shiny bald head if you... Oh, son of a diddly. No, you don't. I'm gonna get you. There's no slots on here. I'd use a magnetic screwdriver. Screw just doesn't want to go in there. That's not working. Alright, I might go grab a different screw real quick. Got plenty. Let's see. Strong one. Drywall screw should work good. Grip a little better. And I can use a Phillips with a magnet tip. What is going on? There we go, finally. Something in there just doesn't want to grip. There we go. Nice and tight. Alright. Finally got that. Got the cord there. Let's hook up the PCB. Let's see what I think. Pop it out of that connector there, give me a little more slack. Oh, there we go. This thing kind of smells like pizza. Voila. All right. I'll do a little more cable routing later. Because this video is going on 33 minutes, a little longer than I had planned. Again, this is just a little added precaution. I had some heat shrink too that was absolutely huge. I ran out though. There we go. Alright. Down there. Over here. Plug that in. And I just said it, but we're going to revisit, I'll revisit cable management. Just get done for you guys. Next, let's zoom out. Wrong way. I'm doing this backwards with my camera. Power switch is already on the other underside. It is a pain in the butt to reach, so I left that on. Once I got this all set up in my downstairs, I'll probably just hook up an Alexa power outlet so I can tell the computer to turn it on and off. So cross your fingers. We got lights. We got sound. Cabinet back. Oh god, these CRTs are heavy. No monitor. What did I forget? I forgot something, didn't I? Oh! It's that stupid switch. Maybe it is off. Well, I was having some problems with that switch last night, so... Well, just take my word for it. Monitor works. The game board's booted up. So, I'll I'll have to pull the power supply back out again, and I think I'm just going to replace the switch on the bottom, or just get rid of it altogether and use an inline on the power cord. So just take my word for it. As you can hear, the game's running. Push a few free plays there. And there we go. So power supply's in. I fixed the problem. And like I said before, don't touch stuff unless you absolutely have to. And see, I created a whole nother problem. Fun of working on 40-year-old equipment here. So that's it. In the description box below, I will have a link to the power supply for this thing. If this was helpful, I know it was a long and painful video, please like, subscribe, it really helps me. Next, I'm going to take a crack at this Miss Pac-Man behind it, and see if I can fix some monitor problems and some noise feedback. I got another ferrite core for the Miss Pac-Man, and we're going to see if that ferrite core might do something to help with some of the interference. So, see you later. Quick follow-up. Figured out why that monitor wasn't coming on. I forgot all about the safety switch. Yes, there is a safety switch. In case Junior at the arcade forgets or manages to open the coin door, there is this little white safety switch right there. When the door is shut, safety switch pushes in, monitor shuts off. Why? Because monitor is very high voltage, many thousands of volts, and can really give you a good jolt or kill you. So, when door's shut, switches in, power's on. When door's open, switches in the middle, power's off. It's a spring switch. When technicians working on it, they can pull the switch out, shazam, monitor's on. All in the name of safety, even 40 years ago. I thought these machines predated safety. Yeah, I'm going to wire that differently. Or just, common thing was to use a piece of duct tape. But I think I'm just going to bypass that eventually. Don't care. Kids stupid enough to go sticking their hands in powered on electronics. Yeah! Clean up the gene pool. Mother of pearl, that's heavy. And look what we got. Oh shit, and I just closed the door. Door won't stay shut because there's no lock on it. I need to get a new lock. Thankfully, it's just the monitor coming on and off. Because how I have it wired, now the, what do you call it? The power board will stay on all the time, so... Die. I guess they're ghosts, so they really can't die. So. No. I'm gonna get you. No! Oh, wow. Oh, are you kidding me? Darn. Not bad. Pretty clear monitor too. Maybe a little room for adjustment. Down the corner there, a little discoloration. Oh crap. I'll be honest, I didn't even know Super Pac-Man existed until I got this machine. I just knew Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. So, this is going to be fun. Oh, that's it. It works. That is awesome. This is going to be so much fun. I always wanted cocktail table games. Well, that's it for right now, because I can hear midget number 3 is awake. And she's with Mommy in the living room, so I gotta get ready to take her to preschool. And that was another 5 minutes of video. Oh, yep, switched. It's a little different. Catch all the fruit. Fun. And the free button. Yep, that's going bye-bye. That's actually supposed to be right in there. Bye-bye.